Okay. Well, now we're doing the Q&A section, and I have 3 questions from Lena from Illinois. I think she's new to the program. The first one is, how do you get rid of the scales on the back of your neck?
Scales on the back of your neck. Well, number one, is she on the diet? And before, yes, again, need to give the FDA disclosures because we'll be getting into some technical advice here. And that is before you start the diet, which I just asked if she was on it. Before you start the diet or accept any of our recommendations, you're to thoroughly discuss them with your medical doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any present health problems you're having. The AMA and FDA require us to tell you that we're not here to diagnose, cure, treat, mitigate, or cure any disease. We're here to educate you how to clean them out of your body, how to clean them out of your environment, how to clean them out of your skin, and how to build health and immune functioning. That's our purpose. So, about scales on your neck, first thing would be definitely you're not going to make any progress until you are doing the diet. The diet has some way of cleaning them out of your body. We don't know how it works or exactly why it works. All we know is exponentially it does work. I don't know what's happening, Robin, but your camera's moving up and down. There's a lot of up and down movement.
Sorry, people are texting me like books of information, and I was typing back saying, I cannot read this and co-host the show.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Her second question is, how do you sanitize jewelry and phones? Well,
before we go on to the next, the diet is number one. That's, number two is to apply the Nature's Gift, the soap. Again, before, I don't want anybody to think that in order to succeed in our program, and I've heard this, I guess it's a complaint that we're here only to make money and only here to sell our products, and that's bullshit. Yes, fine. I welcome your support, but I got my life back without any of my products, okay? And the information is free, the book is free, the diet is free. Hey, I don't even give you stage 1 of the diet for free and say, now you got to pay me $20 for stage 2. No, it's all free. This program is free. You can email me for free and I answer your questions. You don't have to buy anything from me to have me answer your questions. The book even has other things, amylactin and other things that people have used that you get over the counter to help. Okay? So let's start off with that. I don't want anybody to come, oh, this is just a program to promote your products, even though they happen to be the best around. So now you want to clean that skin. And ideally, 3 baths a day, getting down in the tub so that it's covered with the whatever you're using. We use Nature's Gift and disinfectant, and then shower off and apply more of the debriding soap. Now get into creams and lotions. And do it frequently. We have an exfoliant cream, or you can find your own cream. But whatever works, the key is to do it frequently, not just do it once and expect that to be good for the day, but apply it many times throughout the day. Mimic the idea of that part of your neck being in a tub, exposed to the good stuff, the essential oils or whatever you're using. In fact, you could use the same thing that we use for the scalp. Ethel, are you there? We could do the scalp, and you could share what you do for the scalp. You can do it for the back of your neck for the scales.
I like to be precise, so I'll go over to my notes. Well, first thing I would encourage the person to do is to put Vaseline around the entire hairline to keep the parasites in solution from running, down onto your face, and certainly you don't want it to get into your eyes.
well, for this case, we're doing the back of the neck, so we're going to put Vaseline around maybe the top of the shoulders, and so we don't want the organisms migrating from where they are to someplace else, and the Vaseline is kind of like a dam to trap them.
Right. Okay, so put the barrier down below wherever it is that she's going to be working on, and make like a paste or solution using some of the Nature's Gift shampoo. You can use the regular or the foaming. I suggest a teaspoon. This is going to be a nice portion that you're mixing up. A teaspoon of the shampoo, a teaspoon of the Super MSM gel, and a teaspoon of the Claudia's Dream Cream. A few drops of clove or tea tree oil or peppermint. Peppermint tends to be quite chilling, so I usually leave it for the last, but mice definitely don't like the clove. And take everything, mix it together, massage that into the area that you're trying to, work on to remove the scaliness. Add some water to it and just rub it in. Leave it there, and then rinse it off and continue to do that. Or if there's some kind of way you can keep that area moist with some kind of barrier, I don't know, for the scalp we put on like a swim cap. So if it's something that you could put onto that area so that this solution could stay moist, that would be helpful. But just continue to do that until you have some resolve there. Thank you.
Yes, you could maybe use a gauze pad and tape it around the, I don't know how this is going to work with the hair that well, because, but somehow figure out a way to get a gauze pad there so that you keep that area moist with the material to work on the skin and clean it out. And yeah, again, your bedding, you need to make sure that it's disinfected wherever your neck may rest. The back of your headrest in the automobile, that has to be definitely cleaned and make sure that it is not contaminated as well, or recontaminate you. Yeah, thank you, Ethel. What's the next question? What's the next question?
The second question was, how do you sanitize jewelry and phones?
Oh, you can do that one.
So there's a number of ways. You can actually use, you can make a spray with Nature's Gift or with the enzyme cleaner and wipe them down. But I suggest that after you do that, you put them in Ziploc freezer bags, either with menthol crystals or Nuvon strips. And I haven't tried, they have these little UVC sanitizers for phones that kill viruses and bacteria. I think that if you left it in there long enough, it could kill Morgellons. But I haven't tried one of those yet, so I don't really know. But I put all of my jewelry in Ziploc bags with either Nuvon strips or menthol crystals. And when I wear jewelry, I make sure I wipe it down with either a spray of Nature's Gift or an enzyme cleaner, and then put it back in the bag so that it doesn't get reinfested. Her last question kind of goes with the first one, because it was what to do about extremely dry skin and scalp. But I just wanted to add to what Ethel said. All of these things change the quality of your skin texture, and combine that with winter time and how dry it is. I created a regimen of mixing coconut oil, which is a very healing oil, with peppermint, clove, tea tree, and Nature's Gift, and slathering it from head to foot all over my body twice a day. And it helped heal my skin texture. And I have some more. So that was the 3 questions from Lena. I have some more questions from Megan. Well, I don't know if you say your name Megan or Megan. But so the first one, she and her boyfriend are passing parasites or organisms back and forth. And she wants to know, because they come off their body and they're not, dead. So how can she limit that? Reinfecting each other. That's the first question.
Well, basically, both people should be doing exactly the same thing, eating the same food, be both on the same diet, and make sure the diet kicks in. I think a lot of people have given up on the program because they tried the diet for a day or two and it didn't kick in. And when I say it kicks in, it's just not enough to do the diet. I have one lady that writes me constantly about what supplements she should be taking and so forth. And I don't really suggest people take any supplements until that diet kicks in. Make sure, and it's apparent that the diet hasn't really kicked in for this lady yet because she still has itching and biting. When the diet kicks in,
supplements can be a very subtle way that you are sabotaging the diet, unless you're on the one specifically for the diet, because they have ingredients that are not on the diet. It's really important. It's really, really important.
Do not mix protocols. Do not, we have Max 1 in the Max 1 glutathione accelerator. Do not use any other glutathione product. It is the only one that's compatible with the diet. The only one. So, and now, make the diet work for you. So when the diet kicks in, the itching and biting may go. I had a scale of 0 to 6. You could do 0 to 10. I don't care. 6 was as bad as it could possibly get, driving me crazy. 0 to 1, 1.5. That was okay. That was acceptable. So when I was down around 1 or 0.5 to 1, I felt, hey, I'm making progress. The diet is kicked in. Little itching, little crawling, very, very little. No, basically no. Now you know the diet is kicked in. The diet is working. And if you're on the diet and that is not what is happening, then go back and do what I did. Keep the diary. You know what the foods are. They're listed. The foods to eat are listed. And start with one of them. I don't care. I started with eggs. If you're allergic to eggs, start with something else. And eat only that for a day or two. And you should be around 0.5 to 1. In fact, the real great way to start is to do a 3-day fast and eat nothing. And you'll find that you're pretty good. The itching and, hey, if I stop eating, they go away. Well, that doesn't last a long time, though, because you got to eat. Then maybe start with bone broth. Go to the store and get the real bone, not the bone broth you buy in a can that's got additives, but the real bone broth. Make your own. Yes, from that bone. Put in some good quality water and make your own bone broth. Then add in celery. No carrots. No carrots. That's not on the diet. But you could add in some other vegetables. Onions. Right. So, and then keep your diary. And then build from there using the foods that are on the diet. And if you add a food and find that you react within 20 minutes, well, then that particular food on the diet is not on your diet. Could be on everybody else's, but not on your diet. So until the diet kicks in, there's not going to be much progress. Now, there are things to help the diet kick in faster that we discussed by reducing dopamine uptake in the brain, and there are different medications listed in Chapter 6 to help reduce that. We also just came out with herbal formulation called Parasites Stop with the same goal in mind, is to use herbal supplements to reduce dopamine uptake in the brain. Max 1 can also help do that. So I found that to be the case one time. So, but get the diet to kick in. Don't just do the diet. Make the diet kick in. And then we're off to the races, and we're off to getting your life back. That's step number 1. So what was the question? I got...
Well, I would just like to add, so, you know, the way to minimize reinfecting each other is to do the diet, take the baths, wash your bedding and laundry every day with a protocol that you can find in the book, and spray your environment before you enter a room, when you leave a room, wipe things down. And that brings me to question number 2.
Well, before we do that, make sure you do the baths 3 times a day.
Right.
And you do them one after the other. I mean, unless you have a big whirlpool and enough room for both of you at the same pool and use a disinfectant. But you
disinfect the tub.
You disinfect the tub. Make sure that's disinfected. So do the baths, one person for 45 minutes, and then you get out and do your shower and apply the nature's gift, and then the next person does his or her bath for 35 minutes. Do it that way, and 3 times a day, and then use the creams or lotions, or if you find something in the drugstore that helps, wherever, to minimize the activity throughout the day. And you should be on cloud 9. It's work, but you'll get there.
Okay, so question number 2 was, besides the nature's gift and essential oils and clean 'em up signs and the electrostatic sprayer, what can help get the organisms out of the air? I just want to say they're not just in the air. I mean, if you're springtails, they might be, but they are in your floors and your walls and your stuff and your furniture. So you're not just like randomly spraying the air. But and the book has a number of things, like Richard started with ammonia, and whatever you do, you have to be aggressive and do it more than once a day, and it can take months. But you can use, there's the triple pesticide, there's ozone generators, there's a way to up your game. So, and you know,
yes, every time
it's in the book.
You have to think ahead. Before you get in your automobile, you want to spray it. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had Elle back on the program, and she had an experience with her automobile. And I want to publish an update about that, because I don't know how many people have discarded their automobiles because they couldn't get them out of the automobile. No matter if they used the electrostatic sprayer or if they used the ozone, they just could never get them out of the automobile. And I think she figured out from her own experience what that was. Turns out that in your air circulation system, there's a filter, and it's located in the back of your glove compartment. And there are YouTube videos that show you how to change it. And in her situation, she found out that a Cercadia had got stuck in there, and that Cercadia must have been infected with Columbella. And the organism, even though the bug was dead, the organisms kept multiplying and being blown out onto her hands and her feet. And once she changed that filter and got rid of that dead organism in there, you know, things got better. So I can imagine there are a lot of automobiles being thrown out or traded or gotten rid of simply because of a bug perhaps being stuck in that filter. So disinfecting is very important. 20 minutes before you get into your vehicle, you spray it. 20 minutes before you sit on your couch or your kitchen chair, you spray it. You need to think ahead. When you get up, you spray it. After you leave the area, you spray it. It took me 4 months to get to the point where I could sit on my couch. It's a leather couch. And I sprayed it, and every time I'd sit down, within a few minutes, I'd feel activity again. So I'd get up and move to another chair. And eventually I found out what the problem was. And it was because the footrest, I was spraying the top of the footrest, the bottom of the footrest, but I never thought about the tough part at the end of the footrest. And that's where they were. The electrostatic sprayer would have handled that, but I didn't have one at that time. So you need to get everywhere, and the advantage of the electrostatic sprayer, and we do have the Victory sprayer. If you can find one that's less expensive, it's $850, but we had someone, Ethel had suggested one she found on Amazon for $150. I was excited. I bought it and tested it. Turns out that it only charges the particles with a negative charge. You need one that charges the particles with a positive charge, because the environment is negatively charged, and spraying negative on negative does nothing. So if you have a device that sprays positive charge, then it will actually cover the back of things. It'll get in crevices that no other sprayer would ever touch, like I experienced. So disinfecting, thinking ahead, and that's important.
I would also like to comment, so, you know, when you use the Nature's Gift in the bath, it doesn't necessarily kill things, it draws them out of your skin. And then you take a shower to rinse them off your skin, but then you put things on your skin that will hopefully kill them. And that can be creams mixed with essential oils, that can be Richard's Debriding cream, Claudia's Dream cream, but the thing is that just taking the bath, it draws them out. You want to draw them out, and then you want to kill them. So when you take the bath, it can actually cause more activity because they're being drawn out of your skin, and then you have to rinse off. You can spray with an enzyme cleaner, you can spray with the Nature's Gift, and then you need to put stuff on your skin that's going to like suffocate them. Around your eyes you can put something thick like Vaseline, so they don't go from your hair into your eyes, because they're going to leave your hair if you put stuff in your hair, and they're going to go for your face and your eyes. So, you know, it's a process.
They migrate, and they move fast. Now, when you're taking the bath, Chapter 3 has, probably maybe 15 different disinfectants that you also put in your bath, and which ones you can mix. And the challenge here is to have the disinfectant strong enough. Now, things like borax, Epsom salts, essential oils, peroxide, all these, apple cider vinegar, all these are discussed and are considered disinfectants. And you can mix them, but the challenge is to get them strong enough so that they kill most of the organisms. They may not kill all of them, but most of them, and that's why you want to get out and shower off. But you don't want it to be too strong to irritate your skin. And if you're using the essential oils in your bath as a disinfectant, for instance, they float on top of the water. So what you want to do is you want to mix the essential oil with the Nature's Gift before you put it in the water, so the essential oil will be dispersed in the water and not just float on top. Any other questions? Yes.
Kiki said that she wants to testify to the effectiveness of these protocols that we've been sharing. And she also said, is it true that it is a waste of time to seek help from infectious disease doctors to identify samples coming out of your skin, because dealing with the medical system has been a nightmare? And yes, that is generally true. There is places like, well, the doctor who was on earlier who wants you to send him samples. There's vetdna.com, which has a section called What's Biting Me, and you can send them samples. But generally speaking, the protocols are the same no matter what it is. There's some tweaking, but and you can fill out Richard's questionnaire, which will also help you identify things. The main thing is to get on the diet and start disinfecting your environment, because the thing is that these insects, however tiny they are, some mites are microscopic, you know, springtails are really hard to see, but they are vectors for Morgellons. They carry them. So that's why you have to clear the environment as well.
Yes, now if you send samples to Dr. The previous portion of this program gave you instructions on how to take a sample and get it to him. He is not going to diagnose you. He's only using the samples for research. There are no diagnostic tools for Morgellons. Nobody is approved to diagnose it. There are no reference samples. And that's simply because they've ignored the disease.
Right.
Any other questions? It would be nice if we had her last 4 digits of her phone number. She could share her experience in using the protocols. Everybody would love to hear firsthand.
Her last 4 digits of her phone number are 7806. If she could be unmuted, Chris.
Yeah, I have unmuted Kiki.
Hi.
Okay, Kiki, go
Hi,
ahead.
Kiki.
Hi, beloved beings of the light. Saviors. I am not kidding. Seriously. Thank you, Richard. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Robin. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I just want to just quickly say that I've been wanting to join these calls for the longest time. But my temple, we have a spiritual discussion every Sunday, and it always goes over, and they're so good, and they help me so much, but I always miss it. So today, they finished on time, and I was so happy. So thank you. I'm so glad I finally did, and I'm really, the information you shared is really amazing. And yes, I want it to be a testimony to, I've tried so many different things. I've been dealing with the word, I think, Richard, do you remember my questionnaire? You responded and said that I was one of the worst cases you've ever heard of.
Yes, you
I was poisoned with parasites by a black magician. She put parasites in my food, and she also had my hair and all these things that she worked on me. So she was a entity, basically a black voodoo magician. So it had a whole other level to it that was pretty immense. But it was really bad, and I had it for I've been basically next month in April will be 20 years. And basically, I mean, I just went through my old pictures, and it's insane. I mean, I look like Freddy Krueger at some point, you know. And Richard, if it wasn't for your products, like I probably would be dead. I'm not kidding. And I mean, I spent more hours in. Whoa, what happened? Uh-oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Uh-oh.
We can hear you.
Okay, because it sounded like my earphone went off. Okay. So I've been spending more time in the water than on land. And, I mean, if it wasn't for these protocols, I really would be dead. So I have to testify. And, Robin, your protocol that you gave me with the oils, oh, my gosh. Neem oil. You forgot about and mentioned the neem oil. The neem oil, it stinks a little bit, but it is so worth it. The neem oil is really helpful, too. Those protocols help me so much. I mean, I have cleared, like, more for my body than I could ever even count. And I'm finally at a point where I'm just, and I've done a ton of spiritual work. I mean, a ton of work on myself. So there's so many levels to this, and I just want to say to people that one of the reasons why I probably didn't share before is that there's a lot of shame associated with this ailment, because I felt so dirty, I felt so contaminated, because we are contaminated, and that there are so many levels to this. So to remember also that, like, nothing happens to us that we can't handle, and that there are certain warriors that are put on the world right now to expose the truth. And my frustration with the medical system has been, like, I can't even believe, like, I can't, like, my friend who's a doctor, like, can't even, a chiropractor, she can't believe, like, how I've been treated. And I keep going to them for answers. I keep I keep searching for that. I keep looking for that validation. I mean, I have samples that it's alcohol that there's no way in hell these things are sick. I mean, I can see them with my plain eyes without any magnification. So I just want to say that, you know, you're not crazy, that it's going to be okay, that follow the protocols, and the diet is something that we instituted just within the last month, and it has made a huge difference because it was the biggest thing that I had, because I'm living in a hotel right now. I lost my house in the California fires, so I've been living in a hotel, and it's been really hard to have a good diet, but I was like, you know what, Kiki, if you want to heal, like, don't say, oh, pray to heal, and then I'm not doing my part. Like God says, you take one step towards me, you know, my Swami said, if you take one step towards the divine, they'll take 100 steps towards you. So to do the effort, do what we can, and to have faith that it's going to clear, because there are so many times, I mean, I'll be honest, I wanted to kill myself. I was so in torture. I mean, it was so absolutely dreadful and torture. So if I can make it through, then anyone can make it through. And my mission through this is to educate people on parasites, educate doctors on parasites, have a whole team, scientists, you know, scientists that can actually start identifying these things, and education to the public on prevention, better detection mechanisms, and also a wellness center to have a place where people can come. Because I don't want anyone. I don't want anyone to suffer the way I've suffered. I don't want anyone to have to take, you know, scalp, like needles and all these things to my own eyes and my own, like my size of my eyes and to my whole body. I don't want anyone to suffer the way I've suffered. So I have to put that out there as a seed, because this is part of my mission. Because people need to know. People have the right to know what we're exposing ourselves to. When I see people letting their dogs kiss their mouths, I cringe. I'm like, oh, God, don't, you know. Like, you know, like the licking babies' faces. I'm like, no, you know. And, like, I have this hypervigilance, but it's like I have this part of my mission. And I also have a master's degree in transpersonal somatic psychology, where I'm able to put all this into, like, a framework of, like, the spiritual healing, the emotional healing that goes along with it. Clearing out energetic parasites from our lives, people that just take and leave us shit, excuse my language, but, you know, like, and so my mission also is to be a support for others that I know what it's like, because you all know that you can't explain to anybody what it's like to go through this hell, and a lot of people can't handle it. So I just want to say that and put that seed out, because that is my mission. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm still here, and that's what kept me going, is to know that I'm here to help other people. And so thank you. You know, God bless all of you from the bottom of my heart. You know, bless your families, bless your homes, bless your loved ones, and bless your enemies. I don't want to see this.
Kiki, thank you so much. We are looking for volunteers in our coaching program, so if you might be interested, we'd love to have you participate as one of our coaches. And now, for anybody out there who might be thinking, she just probably had a little touch of some kind of parasite, it wasn't probably that serious. Well, as she indicated, her questionnaire indicated that she was dealing with Morgellons, Columbella, skin mites, skin fungus, and as I recall, she had 6 of 7 symptoms of strongyloides. So, that's great, a fantastic comeback.
Oh, yeah. I mean, can I ask you something? The weirdest thing that has come off, the weirdest things that come off me are these scales. They're grayish, silvery, and they're not, it's not skin. They stick into the skin like all hell. And diatomaceous earth, that has also been a godsend. If it wasn't for diatomaceous earth, I would not be able to power these things off.
It's awesome.
Because sometimes I spend hours upon hours upon hours, you know, and I've hurt my back for leaning over in the sink so many hours, like sloughing these things off. What are those scaly things, man?
No, we just had somebody saying, sharing that she had them on her neck. I really don't know what they are.
On my neck. I had them on my neck. I have pictures of the back of my neck. I almost went into shock when I looked at my old pictures because, girl, when I shared that, I had those in the back of my neck. And my email, I'll be more than happy to share my email. It's Kikima.
Well, no, let's save that for later. This is going up on YouTube.
Okay. So anyway, I had those in the back of my neck too. So you can get them all. And I know it's such a painful area. They always go where it's painful. And the joint areas and the joints, every fold, like they're in the creases of my eye. I had a quote-unquote cyst in the corner of my eye. I had Stanford Eye Clinic look at it, and he goes, oh, it's just a cyst. I'm like, trust me, that's not a cyst. I feel it moving. And sure enough, it started oozing the other day, and it's all in the creases of my eyes. They were all in my eyelids. I mean, it's crazy, and the doctors don't see it. So I had ophthalmologists with magnifying in my eyes, and I couldn't see any parasites, and I had strings coming out of my eyes all the time.
So what I found the best thing for eyes is colloidal silver, where you get a little eye wash glass, and every 20 minutes you rinse your eyes and wipe your eyelashes, and you put something thick like Vaseline all around your eyes, because it's going to push them out of your eyes, and you don't want them to go anywhere else. And it takes about 2 or 3 days, and your eyes will clear up, and your eyelashes will clear up as well.
I hope that cyst goes. I mean, it's not a cyst. It's a bugger. It's like right on the outside of my eye.
Right. I understand. I understand.
Right? It'll eventually.
It'll work.
Well, it's been wonderful hearing from you, Kiki. And
thank you, Richard.
Let's stay in touch. We'll welcome you to join our coaching program. So we'll stay in touch, okay?
I love that. Everyone else, please start thinking about who you know and like networking. Like who knows scientists? Like who knows people that are willing to take this on? Because I'll get funding for it. Once my story gets out, there's going to be a lot of people responding, and I need to know where to send them. So well, I know a lot now. Thank you, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks, Kiki.
Thanks.
Good to hear your testimony.
Great to hear you. This is what keeps us going, success.
Yeah.
We're addicted to it.
Hi, my name is Joey. I just want to say that you all are such an inspiration. This has been by far the most interesting thing I've ever heard. I've watched a million videos online. There's nothing that's ever got my attention like the conversations that you guys have been having. You all are like my heroes. And Casey, the witch doctor, that's the scariest thing I think I've ever heard in my entire life, and I cannot imagine. That is just so horrifying to me, and I feel the same way. I wouldn't want anybody to go through what I've had to go through. This has been very confusing. It's been absolutely life-changing, and it's flipped everything on my world on its completely different side. So I got the book. And when I started reading the book, I started, slowly here and there, because I have really bad anxiety. I didn't even know I had it until these lesions started appearing, and then I started getting anxiety. I started getting stressed. I started losing my energy. One thing happened after another, and eventually I got to a point I couldn't even get out of bed. I'm only 26 years old, and I'm pretty fit and active, or I used to be. I used to be really active, and for a long time, I've had this pain in the back of my neck, and it was in the joint. I could never get comfortable. I felt like my head was too far forward. I had to do stretches in public. I went to physical therapy for years, and eventually that pain that was deep down, it was very centered in my joints. It came to a head, and that head, it swelled up like the size of a softball. So I had this big, massive lump on the back of my neck. That was about a year ago. I iced that lump down. It swelled down. Then it came to a head. I tried to pop that head because I used to pop my pimples, And from there, I've had a lesion that hasn't gone away. That was back in August. The only thing that has ever that's even remotely worked at all is Richard's Debriding Soap and the power of God. I absolutely will testify that it is absolutely no joke. Richard, you are absolutely my hero. You're amazing. I've been in contact with Ethel. She is so, ever since I called the number, I got so depressed because I had like a mini heart attack about a month ago. And then, you know, I was like, I can't ignore this anymore. I have to read this book. I have to do this, and I have to get my life back, because there's too many important things that I have to do as, you know, as a loving person. And I just want to say this is just, it's so nice to know that there are people that are willing to help, because I've spent so much money and so much time, and it is shameful and it's stressful and it's very, very confusing. You don't know what to make of anything anymore once something like this happens. And the self-consciousness and depression that comes with it is absolutely, I got to a point where I didn't think I could go on. And you know, you guys are just, I just want to thank you all for the inspiration and the motivation, because we really need it. You know, I didn't know there were other people out there that this is really affected like me, because in my world with my, I don't really have social media or anything like that. I haven't talked to anyone. Ethel was the first person I talked to who even had the same thing going on. I know a lot of people, but nobody could relate to me about this, and I didn't want to talk about it. So I was just gonna put it off until it killed me. And I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm gonna get my life back, and I'm not giving up. And I just want to thank you so much for that, because if it wasn't for you guys and this phone call right here, you know, I feel the spark of my fire of life being reignited, and I didn't know if that would ever come back. And you guys are helping with that, and that. With that being said, you're giving me the courage to tackle anything that life throws at me now. And with God's help and with the help of this support group and you people, you are my heroes. I feel like I can do anything now, and I just want to, I really want to thank you, because now I can.
Let me ask you a question. Have you listened to the inspirational video I have, that the Inner World of Tranquility, yet?
No, I haven't. I'm still in the middle.
That's next for you. That's next for you. The link is in the email I sent out. You will love it. I am so happy that you're here with us today, and so honored to be a part of your life and getting your life back. And I'm sure Robin feels the same. And as I said, I want you each be able to say one day that, you know, because of us, because we were here, that we pushed you forward to the point where you had no choice but to get your life back. So keep coming back.
That's right.
And take every ounce of every energy that we have to share with you, and make it move your life in the right direction. Thank you.
Yeah. Just know you're not alone, and don't give up.
I'm not going to. I'm far from it. Far from it. I love you all so much. You all are amazing people, and I'm sending the best energy and positivity to all of you right now through these weird 5-4G frequencies. I'm sending you the most positive vibes I can possibly manifest. Thank you guys for doing what you do. You are amazing people. You're amazing.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Okay, anyone else have a question or would like to share?
I don't have any other questions, but I did want to make a comment about masks. You know, the doctor earlier said that masks can make you sick, and that's an opinion. I tend to go with what the CDC says. But in terms of Morgellons, which is that masks are important and it helps prevent COVID, but in terms of Morgellons, if they're in your nose, which happens a lot, and you wear a mask, anytime it's just like if you have a pair of pants that are tight around your waist, you're going to get activity there. Any place on your body that you have something blocking them or pressing against them, they don't like it. The organisms don't like it, and they'll get more active, and you'll feel itchiness. So that can happen with masks with Morgellons. But the good news is it helps you figure out where they are, and then you can, clean your nose with or your mouth with Q-tips and Nature's Gift or colloidal silver, and help get clear that way. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I can see where, I'm not sure exactly what he meant by that, but yes, masks can make you sick because unless you're changing them frequently, they can be a breeding ground of viruses and bacteria. We do have in our store a spray that you can spray to clean them on a regular basis so you don't have to keep throwing them away. I spray mine every day. And
right,
it's got nice lavender scent. Yeah.
But it has been proven if everyone wore masks,
I'm all for masks.
And the right protocols, then this thing, COVID, would be done.
I think the Texas governor and the other state, I forget which state it is making a big mistake. I think they should require everybody that leaves that state by airplane to have a negative COVID test. I think they should set up police patrols on every interstate. Anybody leaving has to have a test results that indicate that they're negative. Let them, if they want, let them keep the disease there. Don't send it to us.
Hello, I'd like to ask you something.
Yes.
I talked to you guys once before, and I told you I have really long hair, and I have those little black dots all over my hair. How do you get rid of this out of your hair?
Oh, well, number one, are you strict with the diet?
Oh, what diet?
Are you strict with the diet? Are you doing the diet?
No, I just started listening to you guys like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so the first thing is, have you read the book?
Nope, I just started. I have all the symptoms. I have all these little.
Okay, do you have the book? Do you have the book?
No, I don't.
Do you have the e-book?
Nope. All I know is I've been looking it up on the internet. I started using the
Okay. Did you get a email that announced this program, that announced the time and everything? Did you get an email from me?
Yes, I think I got that.
All right.
That's how I found
Return that email to me, and I'll send you a copy of the book. What is important to note is that this lady is suffering, like all of us have suffered. 2 people have reported earlier with testimonials about what they've done with the program. So we all come to the program like you are right now, and we all start at the same place, the book, the diet. And that, within a week, the diet can kick in for you, and you can notice progress already. But it's important to get on that diet to clean them out of your body. Thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Keep coming back to the program.
Hello.
Hi there. I have a question about something that I see on my clothing. They're like hair-like organisms that are a little squiggly, and they seem to lay white eggs. The question is that Morgellons, or would that be a co-infection?
Well, if they're filaments coming out of your skin, don't really lay eggs, so that confuses me. I've never heard of that. But filaments coming out of your skin is an indication of Morgellons. Now, where these eggs come from, I don't know. Have you looked at them under a microscope?
No, I can actually see them on my clothing, and I see them in my environment, like on my table. And I thought it
well,
was
they could be eggs of mites. They could be something to do with some kind of mite that's attached to the filaments.
I mean, it seems like it's a little piece of hair, and then I'll look 2 minutes or like a second or two later, and I see little white dots next to it. They look like eggs, but so you think that might be an organism, or do you think that's a mite? You think it's a mite?
Well, mites are organisms. It's hard to say, and as Robin said earlier, it doesn't matter what the hell it is. We got to get rid of it. We're going to clean it out of your body, clean it out of your skin, clean it out of your environment. You're going to get rid of it. Doesn't matter what it is. We don't care.
I was wondering if it was coming from my breath or my body or something, and then going on different places where I'm at. That was.
I wouldn't know. Morgellons manifests itself in an infinite number of ways, and no two people have exactly the same symptomatology. No two people.
They create little things they look like egg-like things, but they're actually not. Also, that can be part of Morgellons. I mean, it's pretty rare that you could actually see mite eggs because mites are so small.
What you might want to do, you might want to take some samples of that, put it in a little jar, and put some alcohol in it, seal the jar lid, put it in a Ziploc bag, and mail it to Dr. You have to go to his website. What is it? DownToEarthMedicine.com. DownToEarthMedicine.com. Get his mailing address there and send it to him along with your name and address and where you took the sample from. And he'll look at it, and you can write and ask him if they're eggs or what, if he can identify what they are.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else like to ask a question or share?
That was .org, I believe, on that, Richard.
Yeah, .org. Thank you. I'm so accustomed to .com.
Richard and
yes.
Robin, this is Joanne in Washington. And
Hi.
Hi, Joanne.
Hi. I started taking your new supplement to lower dopamine.
Yes.
And I only eat 2 meals a day. Should I double? Do you think I should double them up then? And it said take one to start out 3 times a day with food. So I was wondering, I mean, is there any issue with maybe overdoing it or anything? I did notice one of the ingredients was crossed out on the ingredients list.
Well, Joanne, has the diet kicked in for you?
Well, let me put it this way. I've never really wanted to get on and say this in front of the whole group, but I think it's kicked in the sense that I no longer have the old type itching, biting with no evidence of physical bites, which is what I used to have, a lot when I ate bad. I am still having problems with physical bites. So as a result, I have been on stage 1 for months and months and months. As you might recall, at one point I almost got I was on stage 2, and then I blew it and overdid it, and it screwed me up. But, I've still been having a time with actual physical bites that actually have gotten worse rather than better, despite all the disinfecting I do. So that's what I'm trying, because I don't know if you remember, too, I did not have good luck with a lot of drugs either. They just didn't work for me. So I thought I'd try the herbal supplement.
Right, okay. So you're still getting bites?
Actual physical bites. I've actually gone back to dermatology, and they've given me a bunch of creams that actually heal the bites very well. but the little boogers do act kind of like a scabies in that they run around wherever I put stuff. I've been using Robin's, 3-thing protocol on my body, smearing cream, and they always find a place that must not have as much stuff. And that place to bite me. It's the weirdest thing. I've just pondered this whole thing, but I do think, your thing about it doesn't matter because the protocols worked is true in so many ways. And yet, I do think because, as you've said, there's thousands of types of mites, that I must have a type of one that is just either super resistant or I don't know what, because I do pay attention to detail, and I've really worked your protocol, and I just, continue to be flummoxed. So anyway,
the environment is the biggest challenge because,
have you ever used the lefenuron?
Yeah, for months.
Okay. Now, if you go to the lefenuron site and go to the bottom and call up Nancy, there's a phone number down there, and ask her for the capsules for mites.
Nitinpyram.
She actually sent me
Nitinpyram.
And I did try it.
You did.
So, as Robin says, the environment is an issue, but I have an e-sprayer, I have ozone machines, I have industrial strength ammonia, which I know you don't recommend, but I do use in places. And so I am doing a lot of that, but for some reason they kind of keep coming at me. I don't know what it is.
Now, how many baths a day are you taking?
Everything I touch, pardon?
How many baths a day are you taking?
Well, I'm in the bath right now. I am not taking 3 baths a day. Sometimes I take 2. I do have my husband who I care for, and so I have him doing a lot of the same stuff as him. And strangely enough, the creams the dermatologist gave us a couple months ago really cleared him up, and things really haven't come back on him. But that hasn't worked for me for some reason. And it's like still this big mystery to me every time I try to delve in and think about it.
Now, how do you feel after you get out of the bath? Do you feel less biting after you get out of the bath?
Well, and this is the odd thing too. Just as Robin was saying earlier, the bath doesn't necessarily disinfect. And that's true because I've actually had bites in the bath, but it draws things out. I take my shower, and sometimes they're still clinging, and even though I've sprayed myself with enzymes after having the NG, and also I've tried menthol, because I do notice sometimes if I feel something in the bath and I spray myself like heck and rub it, it actually comes off me. But in the shower, it's a little bit of an issue then because I'm trying to get everything off me. But afterward, I can feel really good, and my house feels pretty good in terms of the floors and stuff. So I think I might have, if I had some columella still, a lot of those have dissipated. But I think that also Robin's protocol is great because you're using a bunch of different oils on your body. So maybe if one mite doesn't like something, another one, will get killed by it. But unfortunately, maybe I have a type that needs another oil or a different oil.
Well, have you used the clove oil?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'm using clove and oregano and peppermint.
Well,
sometimes I'll throw in citronella.
Okay.
A lot of neem. I doubled the neem in your protocol.
The first thing, can we figure out if you're being infected from the environment or not, or are they living in your skin?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think I'm back to, I've gone back and forth on this so much, I don't want to take up a lot of guys' time. There are times when I think it is my skin, and I did another protocol Robert recommended that I thought would work on me, and I did it for like 4 months, and every time I did it, it was using permethrin like they used for scabies, and I would get bit during that time I was using it. And the thing is, where they'll bite me is really strange. Like I say, they'll run around, and maybe if there was a patch that was not creamed as well, like say the crook of my elbows, or I never had them on my neck till just recently, or my chest, I should say.
So maybe you could, I mean, is there a certain place in your house where you get bit more, or a place in your house where you don't get bit?
Oh. As like I say, when I'm, I don't. This is the funny thing about these little critters, is there's ones that you feel the bite, and you can feel them wanting to bite you, and then those I can take care of. Then there are the ones that I didn't know they bit me until I saw the bite. I didn't actually feel it. So in those cases, I've actually had that happen most often in the bath shower, and I do disinfect my bathtub and my shower every day, like 2 or 3 times, you know, before, after, and also, you know, in between, because I'm e-spraying and I'm ammoniating and I even bleach it at different times. But
do you have shower curtains, Joanne?
Oh, and I go to the dollar store, and I usually, because I spray the shower curtain, and then once a week I try to change it. I use one of those liners instead of regular shower curtains.
Right.
Because
what about the rings that the shower curtains hold the shower curtains up?
I have changed those, but not religiously.
I mean, if you're going to change the shower curtains weekly or even wash them, you should soak the rings in ammonia every week.
I did tie up my shower sprayer with ammonia, thinking maybe they're coming, maybe got inside the shower head. So I did try that, given that I had the neck issues, and I started washing my hair in a sink versus in the shower because I was nervous about that. And yeah, it's just, I wish I was better at, I mean, it's like I see these things, but they do mostly occur now. It seems like they come out and then they bite me before I can get everything on me or something.
Now, have you stopped the Lufeneron, or are you still with it?
Oh, yes. I've been on it for months, and I've been on it, you know, like I want to say ever since 2018, I would do a whole course of it for, this is the longest course I've done probably. I think I started it, maybe last January or something. Mm-hmm. And then I did try that other thing that Nancy sent me, but she sent me just a few samples and I took them. So maybe I should try taking more of them. I don't know. And of course, I've done your chitneys and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just.
Have you done ozone or the electrostatic sprayer?
Oh, yeah. In fact, as Robin knows, I went away for 3 weeks to run my ozone machine, like 24 hours a day, so many hours. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The half hour on and an hour off, whatever. And she thought I should do more, so all through the summer I was doing about 4 hours a day because I think that's what Elle has done.
Now, you said you went away. When you went away for a few days, did you notice a change in activity?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, this is the thing. I had somebody come in spraying the triple pesticide before I went away for about 3 or 4 months. And things got a little better, but they weren't perfect. I went to my sister's. I stayed on stage 1 the whole time. I had bread sent to me, everything. And I was better. I was a lot better.
When you went away for a few days, were you better when you were away from the house?
Yes. Yeah.
How much better?
Well, my bites cleared up, and then sadly, about 5 days before I left my sister, I got a horrible lesion on my leg that hurt really bad. Something really bit hard. I think it might have been a columella. I was outside, so it might have got from the environment there. But other than that, my body was clear till I got home. I got home. My sister had aired out my house from all the ozone. 1 day later, I started getting issues again. After I had a number of
okay, I guess the bad news is you have a sick house.
Yes, in some way. I don't want to move again, but
the challenge is to figure it out. Like I shared, they were in the tufts of my footrests, and until I figured that out, I couldn't sit. I could never use my couch.
Right, I remember that.
The electrostatic sprayer should be handling all that for you.
I know.
Well, mine can be tough.
I'll let you guys go because I do think there is something too maybe about somebody mentioned the pheromone thing, and maybe that could be one of my issues. But trying to figure that out is a difficult thing too. So.
Well, back to the original question about the Parasite Stop herbal formula. That's going to help kick the diet in, but if you're being reinfected from your environment, I don't think that's the real issue. That's the first thing we have to figure out. Every one of us, we have to figure out, once you're on that diet, is your environment clear? Are you being reinfected by the environment, or is the diet not kicked in for you? And if you go away for a few days and you notice that you are cleared up, that's an indication that, okay, it's not me, it's the environment. And someplace in my environment, it could be moisture in the basement. It could be mold in the, I don't know. There are all kinds of things that can go wrong with a house. It could be under the floorboards. It's hard to say. We got to figure out where they are and get them out, or we have to move.
Right. Well, I live in a dry climate, and I've had people check my crawl space. It's fine. I think I reinfected the house when I moved here, and then now it's just. I don't have the excuse of having COVID for 90 days or whatever, but I don't know. I've been using the electrostatic sprayer.
Generally, if you move into a house and you bring them in, you can get them out of the house. But when you move into a house and if they're already there, then it's a challenge. If you can get them out, great. If you can't, then it's a sick house.
Well, actually, the first year I moved in, I was clear by August. I moved in May. I was clear by August, and then I got reinfected.
Okay, so somehow we have to figure out there's something that's being missed in the house that has to be disinfected. So you might want to keep a diary of where you notice, or if you notice any activity, where you were before or whatever. So it's a challenge, but that's your answer. Figure out where they are.
Right. I know.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you, and I hope everybody's listened to this, because this is what we're here for. It's not a snap your finger and it's a done deal kind of thing. It's a challenge to figure these things out, and the reward is worth it. But we got to figure it out. We have to decide whether it's the environment or the diet or the bathing. Okay, anyone else have a question or would like to ask or share?
Yeah, Richard.
Yes.
Kim, Florida. And
Hi.
I wanted to say two things. The first one is thank you and God bless you for having the store, because when we have this disease, we're in a weakened state already, and it's so hard to try to do research on your own to find those things, and to have them all in one place is a godsend. the second thing I wanted to say, well, thank you for that, but very respectfully, I wanted to say that I was listening. I've been doing a lot of research on my own on COVID and the jab, and I was listening to a group of scientists and doctors, and they had credentials, and they had said, one of them said something about that there was a correlation between COVID and Morgellons. Well, when I heard Morgellons, my head snapped up and twirled around on my shoulders about 5 times. And it was very interesting. So what I wanted to say respectfully is, like Robin said, it was opinions and everything, but what that doctor had to say made a lot of sense to me and what I've learned. And so if we have to pursue our own, I don't want not to pursue that because it sounds like conspiracy theories or whatever, that if it rings a bell with you or something sounds true, pursue it and find out for yourself, because it's so important, because we know so little about this horrible thing. And so that's all I wanted to say. It's just, if
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, we have to do our own research and come to our own choices, and I appreciate you echoing that. Thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Yes, Richard. This is Cindy from Texas, and I want to say thank y'all also.
Cindy from where? I'm sorry, I could hardly hear you.
From Texas.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi. I just wanted to say just one little thing about the COVID. I lost 3 friends from the disease, and so I've been a nurse for 36 years, and I just want people to know that I don't think the government would put every one of us in jeopardy by this vaccine. I did get it. I had very little side effects. So I had a little nausea, a little headache, but I was so happy to receive that and
I agree.
Yeah, and
I'm on this call. I've been on it since 3 o'clock. It's my support group.
And one thing I want to say is would help people if they want to get the COVID vaccine. Is someone talking over me?
Yeah, there's a lot of background noise. If you're not talking, can you please if you're talking, please mute your phone so we can hear Cindy.
Sure. They were looking at
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, I just wanted to say if some people would look at it this way, you know what they call the long haulers, right?
I'm one of them.
It's the effects you get from COVID, and it may last you a lifetime. I had a friend that almost lost her foot, but she died. And COVID messes with your blood platelets. But anyway, what I wanted to say is I wanted to get the COVID vaccine because, I think about the long haulers or the vaccine. So I chose myself to go with the vaccine because the long haulers can give you health problems the rest of your life. And that's how I decided. I weighed it out. Plus, I don't want to, a lot of it has to do with your blood type. And if you have a vitamin D deficiency and all that. So that's my impression on everything, and that's my belief. So I just
Thanks
want to say
for
that.
sharing. Thank
you,
you,
Cindy. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Okay. Anyone else like to share or ask a question? Well, it looks like that wraps up this portion of the program. I want to thank Robin and Ethel and Chris for handling the technical aspects, and everyone for attending. Hope to have all of you come back next week, and let's get your life back. Thank you.